Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, acting president visits Cross River State, reaffirms the indivisibility of Nigeria. The House of Representatives in a rowdy session kicks out bill on Southeast Development Commission. The Federal High Court Abuja strikes out treason charge against Charles Oka, the man accused of masterminding the 2010 Independence Day bombing, but he's to face terrorism trial. And U.S. President Donald Trump announces withdrawal of the United States from climate change deal.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's PMI tops 52.5 reading in the second consecutive month of increase across 10 sub-sectors.
And on sports news tonight, Nigeria Super Eagles move up 2 places to occupy the 38th position in FIFA's monthly ranking of football playing nations.
And from Abuja, Senate confirms 15 resident electoral commissioners as INEC prepares for the 2019 general elections.
Tonight we begin with the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, again emphasizing the need for Nigeria to remain one united country. He was speaking in Calabar, where he was given a rousing welcome by citizens of the state today. He says those seeking division of the country must understand that Nigeria is great today because of our numbers and the size of the country.
The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, arrives the Margaret Echo International Airport in Calabar. He is received by the governor, Ben Ayade, and other citizens. At the palace of the Obong of Calabar, Professor Osinbajo calls for greater national unity.
When people speak of Nigeria and respect this country, it is because of the diversity. It is because of the strength in the numbers. That's why we are considered great. That's why the rest of Africa looks to us for direction. If we were one small enclave, nobody would look at us with the seriousness that they look at us today. And so unity is absolutely important. Unity is absolutely important. We must be prepared to engage with every other ethnic group and be united.
The acting president then embarks on a guided tour of the Ayade Industrial Park and the Rice City, Kala Pharmacy and the Cross River Garment Factory, all located at the Goodluck Jonathan Bypass, which presently employs 4,000 people. Commissioning the project, Professor Osinbajo commended the initiator of the world-class edifice, Ben Ayade, for creating an avenue for employment and money generation. Also commissioned by the acting president is the state monorail, where he alongside the governor took a tour on the rail to the Calabar International Convention Center. An elated governor describes the visit as encouraging. The acting president was later conferred with one of the highest traditional titles in Efik Kingdom.
A bill seeking to establish the Southeast Development Commission has been rejected by the House of Representatives. Consideration of the bill followed a rowdy plenary session, that is, when lawmakers from the Southeast region reacted angrily to the decision of the House to step down the bill. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, has this report.
Order, members, order. Members, please, order, members.
Members of the House of Representatives reacting angrily to the decision that consideration of a bill seeking to establish the Southeast Development Commission be stepped down due to the absence of the sponsor. Eventually, order is restored.
I called the bill, and the mover couldn't be cited. And if he was around, he will take it. But if the bill, you want to take the bill, nobody will shut anybody out here.
As the sponsor of the bill is now on the floor, he's invited to lead the debate.
It is being drafted to help in articulating specific interventions aimed at reintegrating the Southeast Zone into the national discourse of development and growth in line with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Other lawmakers then make their contributions.
In the Southeast, we have a lot of agitations even going on right now. What is the reason of these agitations? If you look at the cause root of it, you will see that it's not far-fetched from what we are asking for.
This is a commission of unity, of inclusiveness. The Southeast is asking that we want to use this commission to engage our people so that those people that don't believe in Project Nigeria, when they talk, we can say as legislators, this is a proven case of what we can do in support of the Southeast. Even in the argument, as orchestrated by some of our senior colleagues here, they started bringing the history of the Civil War, and I felt it's really very, very bad, because that one I thought has been buried, and we should look at ourselves as a nation and how to move ourselves forward.
So there is need to look at this thing. You know, Southwest will bring their own no.
Bring a petition.
Northwest will bring their own no.
Bring a petition.
Talk. North Central is still coming.
Can you sit down and bring a petition?
And Nigeria.
Order, please.
The bill was then put to vote twice.
I'll put the question, and I implore members just to vote their conscience. So the question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. In order to be too sure, I'll listen twice. I'll throw it again. The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The nays have it.
The supporters of the bill make their way out of the chamber, where they voice their position on the ruling.
This bill was killed by the presiding officer. The eyes were a lot more. He's my brother, but I am totally disappointed with what happened today. Unacceptable. This thing is a harmless bill. It is not affecting anybody in its entirety. Why should he be killed? Why should he be killed? We're taking it up. We're going to take it up, and we're going to get it. We're going to get it to be. We're going to rescind it and take it again. And we're going to continue coming. We're going to continue coming until we get what we want.
This development has obviously left the House divided, and the days ahead will tell what effect it will have on their legislative duties. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
A federal high court has ruled that Mr. Charles Oka and his co-accused, Obi Nwabweze, accused of complicity in the deadly 2010 Independence Day bombing at the Eagle Square in Abuja, have a case to answer. Justice Gabriel Kolawole returned the verdict following an application by the defendants that the court should declare that they have no case to answer because the prosecution has not proven anything against them. Our correspondent Amaka Okafo has a report.
Sitting quietly in court, Mr. Charles Oka and his co-defendant, Mr. Obi Nwabweze, wait patiently for proceedings to commence in their trial on allegations of masterminding and carrying out the twin bombing on the 1st of October 2010 in Abuja, the nation's capital. In 2011, 2 charges were brought against them following the incident. One of the charges is for terrorism, while the other is for treason. The trial judge, Justice Kolawole, arrives and proceeds to read his ruling. Mr. Oka and Mr. Nwabweze had both filed an application entering a no-case submission on the ground that the federal government cannot prove that they participated or facilitated the twin bomb blast which rocked the nation's 50th anniversary celebrations on the 1st of October 2010. First Justice Kolawole dismissed the treason charges. The trial judge said he was inclined to assume that the prosecution had abandoned the case because they did not produce any witness or evidence to prove the charge of treason. However, he held that the defendants had questions to answer with regards to the charges of terrorism. According to Justice Kolawole, the evidence tendered in court and witness statements by the various prosecution witnesses proved that the defendants have explanations to give the court as to why they should not be convicted of the indictment against them.
That of terrorism is what we have laid evidence on, and which prompted the ruling of the no case today. And the court has has dismissed that no case submission. It's left for the Attorney General. That doesn't mean that we cannot come back to that if the state wants to pursue that aspect of the treasonable felony.
We are going to enter our defense and defend ourselves, provide credible evidence to show to this court that all these charges that are before the court are just calling a dog a bad name in order to hang it.
The trial has been adjourned to the 5th of July 2017 for the defendants to open their defense. Amaka Okafor, Channels Television News.
In the meantime, a Lagos High Court sitting in Ikeja area has granted a Federal High Court judge, Justice Rita Ofili Ajimogobia, and a senior advocate of Nigeria, Gordon Obla, permission to travel abroad for urgent medical attention. The duo are facing charges of giving and receiving bribe brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Justice Ajimogobia, through her lawyers, sought the leave of the court to travel to New York in the U.S. for urgent medical attention for hypertension and stress-related issues. The judge also granted a similar application by the second defendant, Gordon Obla, to travel to Houston, Texas in the U.S. for medical treatment.
2 of the Evidence Act. A lawyer is not allowed under the Evidence Act to give evidence on transactions between his client and himself, except he has the prior permission of the client to use such evidence. So we are objecting to the prosecution asking him questions of what he had done to the client. And that was under cross-examination. I asked him whether he has gotten the permission of the client to give such an evidence. That was the whole basis. And the judge says, okay, when the time comes, it will be taken into consideration.
I'm aware that Section 192 of the Evidence Act generally precludes a lawyer from disclosing. But there are exceptions to it. Exception from Section 192 shows that where such communication borders on crime or criminality, that communication cannot be said to be privileged any longer. And so if you check our count or the information before the court, you will see specifically count 28 with alleged forgery of a deed of assignment. And the evidence of this man today was that he was not the one who signed the document. That is all before the court. That is the essence of his evidence. That's why we are calling him. It's not for him to come and tell story as to what and what transpired between the two of them.